Hello friends, welcome back to another episode. I know it's been a while and I apologize about this harsh cut in, but Google has removed from my Pixel smartphone, they still have it in photo where you can delay 3 seconds or 10 seconds, but they removed that from the video, so it's kind of, sketchy there on the editing. So bear with me here. So the main thesis, or the reason I wanted to make this video, was how many things in life, especially with the advent of social media, have turned into a lie. We're living in an age of PSYOP and just influencers. It's just a lie. It's just crazy what we're living in. How these people have sold their souls into bringing us nothing but lies. And let me explain. Here. I don't want to go off on a tangent. So let's talk about the evolution of digital photography in terms of smartphones. So the whole purpose of this video, I should have stated that earlier. We are living in a time now where we can pretty much abandon standalone cameras, and this evolution has been happening for a while. So please let me explain, and I'll try to bring all this home. I never work from a script. Maybe that's to my disadvantage, but I always want to keep it real and keep my thoughts kind of extemporaneous, logically, like grouped, but still extemporaneously and not unscripted. Okay, so let's talk about the iPhone 4S. Okay, well, again, we're building up to a point where we can basically ditch a standalone dedicated camera for hobbyist use, right? Not for pro, your wedding photographer or such, really like a portrait. If you go to a portrait studio, of course they're going to use professional standalone cameras. I'm talking about the average person. We're hobbyists and enthusiasts. There's no longer a reason to have a dedicated camera. So the iPhone 4S came along 2011. And you remember that was the first camera that allowed us to ditch the $99 point and shoot. So Nikon made one, Canon made one. They made these $99 cameras, point and shoot, and the 4S was really the first smartphone that displaced that genre. Shortly after the iPhone 4S came out, you see Canon and Nikon completely ditching those $99 point and shoots because they weren't necessary anymore. You were getting the same quality from your 4S. Okay, so let's advance 5 years. That was the next incremental step in smartphone photography. That was the iPhone 7 Plus. And the 7 Plus was a big step. So again, it was 5 years of evolution from 2011 2016. The images got better, but they were still not at a level to displace APS-C. Okay, now let's enter May 2018. The cover of Vogue India was shot with a OnePlus 6 smartphone. So you have a smartphone now, 2018, shooting a cover of Vogue. So that's the next huge incremental step in smartphone photography, was that OnePlus 6. And in that same year, we're still in 2018, I got my Pixel 3. That's what I'm still using right now to record this. I got my Pixel 3 XL in November of 2018. Mark Lavoie, if you ever want to spend some time researching the one person responsible for this leap in technology, it's Mark Lavoie. But that's a whole nother standalone. I encourage you to do your research, do some research on the side about Mark Lavoie. And then also the iPhone 11 Pro came the next year, 2019. Huge leaps in smartphone photography. Okay, which leads us up to the present. We have the iPhone 13 Pro. If you've seen what it can do with macro, it's fantastic. iPhone Pro 13 is leaps and bounds. Even it's only a couple of years removed from 2018 2019. But there's even been that much incremental advance in smartphone photography in the last 3 years, 4 years. We are now at the Pixel 6. I have the Pixel 3. We're at the Pixel 6 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. And like I said, we're at the point now. Again, it can't replace full frame because full frame, the sensor is so large. But again, what I'm trying to get at is how many of you watching this video right now are professional photographers? Probably very few. You're like me. I do it as a hobby. I have another civilian. I just retired from the military. but I'm re-entering the civilian workforce. I'm not working as a professional photographer, as in paid. It's a hobby, or I'm an enthusiast. And like you, we're at the point now where we don't need these standalone cameras. They're bulky, right? You don't have them with you all the time. You have your smartphone with you all the time. So the whole point of this was now the people on YouTube, the photography and videography content creators who've been with us for years and years, right? They have a vested interest in not telling you the truth, right? Because they want to perpetuate their channel. They want to continue making money and monetizing their channel. So therefore, they're never going to tell you the truth that, hey, folks, you can stop buying cameras now because the camera in your smartphone, it's plenty enough. Okay, so that would mean they would have to basically say, yeah, I'm shutting my channel down now because smartphone photography is so good. We don't need dedicated cameras anymore. Therefore, I'm closing down my channel. It's not going to happen. So they perpetuate this myth that these cameras are still, right? They're still so much above a smartphone, and they're not. That's the problem. They're not. So we reach kind of parity now with smartphone photography. It's good enough. It's more than good enough. Okay. So I'm going to talk about exactly. So let me explain a little bit more in detail how this works. So the camera companies are in bed. I should say the other way around. The content creators are in bed with the camera companies, and there's something called the T&E, right? It means a trial and evaluation. So if you ever see, like you'll see somebody like a tease, a famous photography content creator on YouTube will tease, hey, I've done the review of the such and such, but I can't. I'm bound by an NDA, like a non-disclosure agreement. I can't tell you about it until 1 minute after midnight on such and such, right? Such and such date. And you'll see this with cars. You see it in other industries. So they're allowed to review the car, and they'll tease that the review is done. It's already been edited and it's ready to go, but they can't release it again until 1 minute after midnight on a certain date. Okay. So let's go back to Steve Huff. So when Fujifilm first introduced the X-Trans sensor, right? It's different from the Bayer filter, right? It's different how the camera interprets the color, but the RGB, right? So the standard filter for many years was the Bayer filter. So Fuji comes along with X-Trans, and they switch it up a little bit how the camera interprets the color. It's kind of, it's lengthy, but let's just say X-Trans was a departure from the Bayer filter. So Steve Huff said he reviewed it in about 2011, 2012 when X-Trans first started coming out, and especially the JPEG engine, right? Because JPEG is different from RAW in that the camera has an internal engine that interprets, so right, for hobbyists and stuff who don't want to mess around in RAW and deal with Lightroom or Camera Raw or Photoshop, they just get a quick JPEG, okay? The camera pops out a JPEG and it's good enough. You can throw it on Flickr, or you can have it as a memory for the rest of your life, especially like children. You're at a birthday party. You don't want to take RAW. You're not going to do serious editing for a child's birthday party, or you have a family reunion. You're just going to, right, you set your iPhone or your smartphone to JPEG, and you just take JPEGs, and those are your keepers for the rest of your life. So I'm digressing a little bit. So what Steve Huff did in his review is he said he didn't like the X-Trans sensor in combination with the JPEG engine because I'll never forget it, they look waxy. So what Fujifilm did is they punished Steve Huff. They removed him from the T&E program. So basically what they did is say, oh, you're going to talk bad about us? We're furnishing you these cameras to test, and you're actually going to be honest? Oh, we can't have any of that. So they punished him and removed him from the program so they wouldn't give him any cameras to test, which hurt his channel, hurt his monetization. So it's an extreme, really ugly form of extortion where the camera companies say, if you don't give us a glaring evaluation, you don't say good things about the camera, we're going to remove you from the program. And Steve, if you look at Steve Huff's channel today, I was shocked because I haven't been to this in about 4 or 5. Steve Hoff has almost completely departed cameras now, and he's dealing with audio equipment. So even Steve Hoff was so fed up with this nonsense, this extortion through this T&E program, he just opted out. He was like, look, I'm blowing smoke. I'm out of here. I'm just doing audio from now on. So that was the purpose of basically this video. And I know I went long. Maybe I went on some tangents. I even kind of rehearsed this a few times before I did the video. But always when you're kind of doing this, you know, some thoughts come to you and you take a little divergent sometimes. But so I want Steve Huff to be the lesson in all this, is that all the stuff you see on YouTube, whether it's YouTube or TikTok, and all these influencers, they're paid to bring you a lie. They're paid to lie to you. They're just, right? They're getting truckloads of money to tell you, right, to read, basically to read from a script. That's all they're doing, right? You're not getting honest evaluations of cameras. Okay, and the second thing, again, just to recap, you don't need standalone cameras anymore. Your smartphone now, with this current generation, if you have a smartphone that was made after 2018, you're pretty much golden. Those photos that are coming from those smartphones, those are keepers. You can keep for the rest of your life. My wife and I traveled cross country, two or three times. We went all over the United States. I've used this Google Pixel since November of 2018. I haven't taken raw images. I'm just using JPEG, and they're keepers. I will keep and cherish these images for the rest of my life, especially my little daughter. My daughter was born in 2018. So I've been documenting her life as a newborn, and up until now, she's 4. I've been documenting her life with this camera, and it's plenty enough. So again, what I want you, that's what part of woke is. The word woke has been hijacked. What the word woke means is that we're becoming wise, right? We're waking, literally, right? Woke. We're waking up and we're realizing a lot about life. And this is one of the genres or the sub-threads of woke, is that we're not buying this anymore. We're not buying this nonsense from YouTube content creators. We're not buying the TikTok influencers. We see through that now. It's transparent that the stuff they're reviewing, the stuff they're telling us, it's untrue, and they're paid to say it. Okay, so I'm asking you, please stop believing these reviews you see on YouTube, and just use your smartphone from now on. Stop buying these stupid cameras. They're way too much. They're more than what you need, and it's just a waste of money. Just stick to the smartphones. Okay, I'm not paid by anybody, right? It's obvious, because I'm telling you to ditch the standalone dedicated camera and just go with your smartphone. Okay, I went a little long with this, but hey, I haven't made a video in a while, so right, that's me. I kind of digress and diverge, and so thank you for your patience, and thank you for staying with me. Take care.